So what really happens when you consume mold and fungus? Of course, most people are not going to eat moldy bread, but on cheese, a lot of times it'll start growing this mold or fungus and people will be concerned, is that going to affect my health? I'm going to tell you right now, no, it won't affect your health in a negative way because it doesn't produce a byproduct like other mold or fungus will do. You're not going to get that from cheese, but you can get it from things like moldy peanuts, rice, grain, especially corn, dried fruit, and even coffee. The toxins in these foods can really mess up your liver, even cause cancer. When you're exposed to a deadly fungus, you need to be aware of what it is, how to prevent it, and how to get rid of it if you get it. There are a lot of health conditions that involve fungus and mold. Chronic sinus infection, toenail fungus, white film on your tongue, skin rashes, and definitely cravings for sweet because the fungus and the mold or the candida love sugar. And also hidden sugar like the refined starches. Sugar, especially high fructose corn syrup, can also lower your immune system. To prevent this problem, if you've been following my channel, you know about grains and just not to consume corn, grains, rice, starches, things like that. Now let's get into the real reason why you might have mold or fungus growing on your body or inside your body. It's not that you ate something. It's going to be mainly because of something that happened to your microbiome. In the microbiome, you have mostly bacteria, and the fungus, mold, or yeast doesn't normally bother you at all. It's kept in check by the bacteria, by just not allowing them to spread. That bacteria is like the police officers. And because they're just small amounts, they're not very, very unfriendly. They become unfriendly when they overgrow, when you destroy the bacteria. How? Antibiotics. Antibiotics kill bacteria, but they don't kill fungus. The second one, steroids. That also just shuts down your immune system and allows this bacteria and fungus to take over and grow. If you even think about what is the remedy for yeast or fungus, it's steroids. And the other problem is it destroys the entire immune system, not to mention your microbiome. Be very careful about this prednisone because it's a slippery slope. Sometimes you really, really need it, but try to use as little as possible. I'm going to talk about what to do to repair the damage from not just antibiotics, but from steroids like prednisone. The natural form of prednisone, which is cortisol from stress, like a sudden loss of a loved one or some relationship, that can actually shut down the immune system and do a lot of other damage as well, including damage to the heart. The next one is iron. If you have too much iron, if you're cooking in an iron skillet, taking iron supplements, you are just feeding these pathogens. Another one is alcohol. Yeast, fungus, mold love alcohol. I'm sorry, I'm just the messenger. Also, the pH is very important. And this is why fungus, mold, yeast do not like acid, because as soon as you change the pH, you can actually suppress those organisms. Another thing like kombucha tea, it might be good because it's lactic acid. It's very acidic to prevent the growth of these yeast, fungus, and mold microorganisms. When the body becomes too alkaline, the fungus and the candida start to dig their roots deeper. They can grow more. And it's very, very sneaky because it has the ability to downgrade or block your vitamin D receptors. Without sufficient vitamin D, actually caused by this toxin blocking that effect, your immune system cannot work. So it's a survival mechanism because somehow it has the intelligence to know that if we can shut down your vitamin D, then you can't fight us. To solve this problem of all those conditions I mentioned, take more vitamin D to penetrate or overcome this resistance. Anytime you're taking vitamin D, make sure you take magnesium and K2 with it, and also zinc, which is the next topic I want to talk about. Because if you're deficient in zinc, your thymus can't work. The thymus, the training camp for the T cells, start to shrink. The other equally important trace mineral is selenium. When someone is deficient in selenium, you can set yourself up for easily getting an infection. If you happen to feel that you're being poisoned by this mold, you want to get activated charcoal and start taking that. Maybe some bentonite clay to help absorb it. Also, there's a product out there called chlorophyllin, a version of chlorophyll. It's in a liquid. Tends to help neutralize that effect. Cruciferous vegetables help because of the certain chemicals in it like sulforaphane. But also NAC is a product you can take to help the liver counter this damage. You may also watch the video when I talked about when you consume a dark roast coffee. The dark roast coffee has much lower mold and byproducts from the mold. Also, when you consume organic dairy or grass-fed products. A really good supplement to take, which has amazing benefits, is something called propolis. This is something that bees make. It's an amazing immune regulator to help strengthen your immune system, but it's also a very powerful antifungal, antimicrobial. And it wouldn't hurt to take MCT oil from coconuts because of the lauric acid that can also help. Just to put the icing on the cake, you want to, I shouldn't talk about icing on the cake, but you want to add probiotics, probiotic foods, sauerkraut, kimchi to replenish your gut microbes. If mold hijacks your health, silently. Wait until you find out what wheat does every single time you eat it. These are things that are never talked about, never emphasized. Many people have never heard about them before, but they're very important to know about. This is actually going to blow your mind. Watch this video right now. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's some only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.